Hello. It is my pleasure this evening to introduce Bradley S. Chambers, who, as Dr. Lack said when he introduced the stage party, is president of both MedStar Good Samaritan Hospital and MedStar Union Memorial Hospital. He also serves as senior vice president for MedStar Health, and in this role, he is responsible for the strategic and operational direction that enhances performance and supports ongoing efforts to build a stronger, more effective integration between the two hospitals, as well as system-wide clinical platforms. Several of us on the stage had the opportunity to hear Brad speak not too long ago at a combined event to celebrate 100 years of nursing at MedStar Union Memorial and 20 years of graduates from the Stevenson University nursing program. Mr. Chambers began at MedStar Union Memorial in 1998 as the Vice President of Operations and was promoted to Senior Vice President in 2002. 3 years later, he was promoted to Chief Operating Officer, where he oversaw 34 departments. In early 2009, Chambers was named successor as President of MedStar Union Memorial Hospital. And now he continues his oversight of MedStar Union Memorial and was additionally named President of MedStar Good Samaritan Hospital in early 2015. I've had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Chambers since he started working at Union Memorial in 1998, which is how come I get to do the introduction. And while I am sharing Brad's official introduction with you, I will tell you a story that's not part of the bio in the printed program. When Brad was young, think 7 or 8 years old, he used to come to the hospital with his father on weekends, as his father was the chief of OB/GYN at Sinai Hospital, and he came with his dad when he made rounds. Those of us at Union Memorial who've known Brad for a long, long time think that Brad's ability to relate to everyone in the hospital, from physicians to nurses to housekeeping, and his true empathy for patients and their families came from those early experiences when he was very young. Prior to joining MedStar Health in 1995, Mr. Chambers spent 5 years working at the University of Maryland Medical System while earning his Master's of Science in Health Administration at Towson University. He currently serves as a board member for the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Foundation, the Maryland Healthcare Education Institute, Notre Dame Preparatory School, and the Reginald F. Lewis Museum of Maryland African American History and Culture. He holds positions on the Maryland Hospital Association's Executive Committee and the Council for Legislative and Regulatory Policy. During the span of his career, he has actively participated on a variety of boards, including the Harry and Jeanette Weinberg YMCA at Stadium Place, the American Cancer Society Maryland chapter, the Arthritis Foundation of Maryland, and Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Greater Chesapeake. Please welcome Bradley Chambers.
I got a little nervous there when Judy started going back in the Wayback Machine on me. Really, thank you, all of you. A sincere welcome, thank you, Judy, and really a sincere thank you to Dr. Manning, Dean Becker, Dr. Lack, the Board of Trustees, and the entire Stevenson University community. I am very honored and excited to be here with you tonight. I actually grew up literally right around the corner from this campus on Green Spring Avenue and would literally drive by this campus every day as I went to school, and then as I started driving. I never thought one day that I would actually be here giving the commencement speech. So it's amazing how time flies, and I'm so honored to be here with you tonight. A special congratulations to all of you. Good evening, graduates. How are you guys doing? You're all smiling. Yes, come on, you guys can. I heard a lot of laughter and cheers as we were winding in, so I think this is a pretty lively crowd that we actually have here with us tonight. Congratulations to you on this wonderful achievement here tonight. I know all of you are excited, but also I know many of you have family and friends here in the audience tonight. And my first piece of wisdom to you tonight is do not lose sight of the people that are here with you. As you go off into the working world, strike that work-life balance, but also stay close to your family and friends, because guess what? They will keep you grounded, and they will keep you honest. And no matter what, they will be there with you. So for all the parents and friends tonight, I salute you. Congratulations to your sons and daughters and friends that are here tonight. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. So when Dr. Fustel approached me months ago to give the commencement speech, there was actually a pregnant pause on the phone. And I said, "You want me to give the commencement speech?" And she was like, "Yes, Brad." She's like, "I've known you for so many years, and we would be honored to have you to address the students tonight. And knowing Judy as long as I have, you can't say no." So with that, I started to think. And I said to myself, this is a little bit different. Every day in my career, I have the opportunity to work with some of the best healthcare professionals here in the area. I talk to employees every day, physicians. I'm at certain events and ceremonies at my hospitals. I'm interacting with board members. I'm interacting with people in the community, but never a commencement speech. And I even got to the point where I wasn't calling it a commencement address because it was like freaking me out too much to say commencement address. I said my message. I kept saying my message to the students. And what made it unique is because all of you here tonight are probably saying, what infinite piece of wisdom, what nugget is Mr. Chambers going to impart on us? Well, I'm not actually going to do that. I don't have a crystal ball, and if I did have a crystal ball, the one thing that I would ask it is who's actually going to win the election in a couple of months and what the country's going to look like in 4 years. But if I had my one wish of a crystal ball. But what I can impart on you tonight is a simple message, and it's a simple message from someone who's had the opportunity now to be here in the community, working for 25 plus years, running these wonderful healthcare institutions. And that simple message is around remaining connected. Remaining connected. Now, not connected as we think of today to Facebook or LinkedIn, but remaining connected to a very important, vital aspect of the workforce, people. Remaining connected to people. And if you take a step back as I set the stage for you, I think you'll start to get an appreciation of my message to you tonight. So let's set the stage right now in terms of what the business world is like. I think we would all agree that we're living in a very dynamic, changing world. And our business world is changing every day around us. Every day, we're redefining any business, whether it's healthcare, banking, higher education. We talked about the transformation here at Stevenson University. Transformation's the buzzword right now because we're all morphing, we're all transforming to this world that we live in. And it's a very hectic, staggering pace for this change. Because if you don't change how you approach business, you may not be around moving forward. As leaders in today's world, we also need to change. It's interesting, working in a hospital, I have so many different cohorts I have to interact with. I have baby boomers, millennials, Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z, all under one roof with the common approach of taking care of patients. As a leader, I have to adapt my style of communication, my style of transparency, my style of being human to connect with all of those individuals. Consumers, everybody in this gymnasium is a consumer. You have higher expectations in today's business world. You expect more out of the organizations that you interact with. You want more immediate answers, you want greater access, and you have higher expectations in terms of the value of that entity. And then we actually get down to the people. And if you go back to my earlier comment about the different generations of millennials and Gen Ys and Gen Xs, they also come to the workplace now with different values. They have different expectations. They want work-life balance. They want transparency in the decision-making process. And yes, they actually want to be at the table for the decision-making process. If you tie all of that together, you would say, wow, what a changing business world we're in. Some may even say, boy, I think I just want to stay in college for the rest of my life and not have to deal with that. But if you flip that, as this class of 2016 now comes into the workforce, think of it from a positive perspective. You are now entering a workplace where many view the change as positive. There is a renewed energy and excitement in the workplace because everyone is rowing in the same position at the same time to evoke that change. It's now an environment based on collaboration, and it's an environment where out-of-the-box thinking is actually encouraged and valued. We can no longer be set in our normal practices and ways. And with this rapid pace and juggling priorities, at the core of this is technology. I think we would all agree. And we deal with technology every day in what we do. It's been wonderful, the advancements we've had in every aspect of what we're doing. And as I look around the room right now, how many of you actually have your mobile devices out right now? Yeah, I like, hey, she's raising her hand. Yeah. You're going to do well. You're going to do well in the workplace. Think about it. The iPhone was invented back in 2007. 2007, not even 10 years. Not even 10 years ago would people be sitting actually here with their mobile devices, their tablets, their iPads, recording, taking pictures. Many of you are probably texting right now, posting to Facebook, snapping pictures, and so forth. That is the world we live in of technology. And the technology at our fingertips has changed the way we have interacted and the way we have connected with people. There was an interesting study that was released by MIT that actually came out and said, today's generation has a very difficult time and actually avoids face-to-face conversations. Avoids face-to-face conversations. People have actually lost the ability to interact with each other in a spontaneous situation. Because guess what? You cannot edit a face-to-face conversation. Think about it. Yeah, it's registering with all of you. So using that as the context, come into my world, and I'll start to tie this back to connecting with people. Healthcare has been on the cutting edge of technology. In my time, we went from transcribing everything from pencil to paper to electronic health records. We now shoot images across wide area networks. We're charting everything electronically. We're even doing telemedicine now, where we have the ability, you can sit at home and actually tie in and actually talk to a practitioner face-to-face without actually physically seeing that individual. Wonderful. But let me give you a story of how it brings it back to a real situation for us. Judy mentioned in my bio that I've had the fortunate ability to work with MedStar Health, one of the largest integrated health systems here on the East Coast. And many of you, if paying attention to the news back in March, may have noted back on the morning of March 28th, MedStar Health was the victim of a cyber attack. MedStar Health has physician offices and services as far north as Aberdeen, Maryland, going all the way down the peninsula to Leonardtown, Maryland, throughout Washington, D.C., across the Potomac to Woodbridge and Manassas. 1 out of every 5 individuals here in the area are actually touched by a MedStar clinician. IT is a significant part of that. On the morning of March 28th, our entire IT system was down. There was no more electronic health records available. We couldn't chart electronically. We couldn't use any of our devices that remotely transmitted information that was vital. We couldn't print off images from CAT scans and MRIs. Lab results couldn't be printed or shot out. Everything done. Actually, I liked the fact that I didn't have email for 9 days, and I actually enjoyed the fact that I didn't have email for 9 days. So picture an entire health system of 36,000 employees, nearly 6,000 physicians, standing around for a few hours, and in that moment saying, oh my God, how are we going to provide patient care? I no longer have my tablet. And after a few hours, it started to sink in for all of our clinicians. We were all trained through wonderful institutions like Stevenson University in terms of how to take care of patients, how to actually chart vital statistics. And guess what? We're going to have to talk to the patient. And over a period of 3 days, something beautiful actually came out of the cyber attack. Physicians, nurses, pharmacy techs, lab technicians were huddled on nursing units, talking to each other and talking about the level of care needed for a patient. Staff from nursing down to the pharmacy who never interacted with each other because everything was electronic, actually had to get up and walk to the pharmacy to get the medication orders. And by the way, oh my gosh, I'm Brad, I'm Susie, it's nice to meet you. The level of connectivity that occurred was unbelievable. And it was, for some of the younger generation, they were like, so this is what it was like in the old days. Yes, I had those comments from many of our residents and so forth. But to watch this take place over a 4-day period was wonderful. And interestingly enough, the patients loved it. We actually are receiving in some of our patient satisfaction scores from that week, and they're actually some of the highest patient satisfaction scores we have had in our system for that week and a half we were down. Why? Because we connected back to people. We didn't hide behind technology. We expressed ourselves, we conveyed our messages, we interacted, and as individuals, we defined who we were through our ability to connect. My message here for you tonight is always to keep that in mind. Although we live in an age of technology, although we live in an age where the business world and business models are changing constantly, your ability to connect with people, the class of 2016, will truly define you in the workplace moving forward. It will be your greatest asset, and it will be the greatest measuring rod that people hold against you. How you connect. So let me give you a simple little acronym that all of you can take away with you tonight, and really everyone here in the audience can take away. And this is something we actually developed at one of my hospitals probably 18 years ago. And it's a simple theme called I care. I care. And you're saying, what is Mr. Chambers referring to? And this is a philosophy we developed that we preach to the employees in terms of not only how they treat the patients and they connect with the patients, but how they connect with each other. So bear with me. The C in I care stands for being courteous. Every day, the class of 2016, you wake up in the morning and you must choose to have a positive attitude. That attitude will carry you into the workplace. And being courteous means your ability to respect others in the workplace, but also your ability to listen. People will have more respect for you. People will migrate more toward you as you have that ability to listen to each other and to interact with each other. But you have to do that with a courteous attitude, which means every day smiling, greeting others with a warm attitude, because once again, it will define how you connect with people. The A stands for your ability to be attentive. Be attentive. Be aware of your environment. You're coming into a workforce that is changing. People have different needs. People have different issues. Don't walk through the workforce like this. Be in tune to what others are doing around you. Be respectful and really try to anticipate their needs. Never assume, because we know what assuming will lead to, and I will not quote that here tonight. I will not do that. The R stands for being responsive. Be timely in your actions. Be timely in your follow-up. If you see a problem, own it, fix it. Don't wait for someone else. Actually show your team and others your ability to connect, to respond. And then lastly, the E stands for being engaged. And it's amazing with all the distractions that we have going on. People bring with them to work. They're balancing their needs at home, but you need to be engaged. And being engaged takes on so many forms. It's just not being on work at time every day. It's not always being the one volunteering for the special project. Being engaged means having an awareness of your environment. Being engaged means having awareness of your profession. Being engaged means has an awareness of your community. I care. Courteous, attentive, responsive, and engaged. And for those of you, the nurses in the audience, care. Yeah, woo, nurses, woo. Got to give a shout out to the nurses. Carry that with you every day for your patients. Remember, people don't come to hospitals for the fun of it. They're there because they're ill. They're there because they're in pain. They're there because they're seeking guidance and comfort. Keep the concept of I care in front of you at all times. Now, I don't want anyone to think that I'm anti-technology at all. Technology is wonderful, and we need technology. But at the core of what we do is about relationships. And you can't have a relationship through a computer screen. You can't have a relationship hiding behind an iPad or sending messages through an integrated system. The same research that actually said that generations today have a difficult time avoiding face-to-face conversations, on a separate peer group, they actually found organizations that actually encourage interactions among their employees have a higher retention rate, have a higher recruitment rate. Employees are happier, and they're much more comfortable within their workplace environment. So as you leave here tonight, my message is to you, remain connected with people. It's the foundation of any organization. It's not bricks and mortars that make Stevenson University. It's not the bricks and mortar and the technology that makes MedStar Good Samaritan Hospital. It's the people that give it life, that give it strength, that give it identity. And your ability to connect with people moving forward will keep Stevenson University and institutions like Good Samaritan and Union Memorial vibrant and healthy. So I would ask the entire class right now to repeat after me and say, I care.
I care.
Thank you. Because I encourage all of you, as you leave here tonight, to remember to be courteous, attentive, responsive, and engaged. It actually matters. It truly matters to everyone around us. I want to thank you all for giving me this opportunity tonight, and congratulations and best wishes with your future endeavors. Thank you.